Fire
3,
Shamar.
2, huh?
No. We're gonna fire both of them. Shamar and Victor.
Welcome back. Episode 005. This is our 6th episode, actually. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. How y'all doing? This is the latest and greatest. This is Armand, Shauna, Shamar, Victor, speaking to you guys from somewhere outside of Philly, trying to live life to the fullest. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But,
Word.
how's y'all week been, man? Weekly update. How's y'all week been? What y'all got for me?
I don't know. I feel like my week has been much of the same. It's been pretty trash, but I feel like I just gotta change my mindset on it. So just like.
What about you, Shamar?
Mine, pretty chill. Same old.
Of course.
No new high. Well, slightly, but I guess we'll get to that later.
All right, Vic.
Really, really good. Really good.
Really good?
Really good. Okay, we're gonna have to elaborate
I got
on
some, just I can't elaborate too much, but listen, so I got some things in the background that just went very positive for me. Life is good right now, man. Can't complain.
that. That's what's up. I'm here for that. I needed some of that good juju.
That's good. It's funny that you say that because our sister, she threatened us earlier in this week, talk about she can't believe we launched a podcast, we didn't tell her about it. So now she just texted me saying that she went viral on TikTok with 600,000 views and 12K followers on TikTok.
Do what?
You probably looking at Pikachu or something like that. Who knows? you know what she
Tell her I need her assistance.
So she pretty much said that we can book her on her link in the bio.
That's crazy. That's wild.
Shout out to Nana because she be trying it. Yeah, she be trying it.
She wild for that.
Right on time.
Yeah, shit.
Well. Let me go ahead and give my update since no one asked me. That's all right, bastards.
You know what
I'm saying? Nah. It was a
Thank
weird.
you, Shamar.
Nah. Y'all supposed to ask, man. See, that's the problem. See, that's the problem. Thank you, Vic. Thank you. My week was it was a little weird. You know, we had 2 snow days out of nowhere. It feels like, and you know. Yeah, it felt like it was, I don't know, it was the week was all kind of jacked up, but I took a couple of days off. I needed some mental health days and try to get myself right. I actually slept this afternoon. It felt good for a little bit, and then I got a day off tomorrow too. So I'm like, ooh, what am I gonna do?
Please give me some of that sleep, bro, because I need that shit.
Victor, sleep is for people that have money. Don't forget your poor. Please,
I
want you to say.
I got a little
I want you to say you got money because my rent is still outstanding.
See this thing. I got money, but it's already like spoken for.
Whoa.
That's the thing. But like, I got you on like the next.
This man living a whole home for free.
Hey, is that water sponsoring us? Because like it's all up in the shot and stuff. You know.
Yeah.
Your water.
Oh, damn. Yeah. They ain't sponsoring us, then we'll keep it moving. No, it was all right. So, I mean, my week was all right. Had a couple of things that I will probably get into later, but, I just feel like this week, for me, I had like a reflective moment of just the, what's the word I'm looking for? The audacity of certain people and how they treat and act towards people. It still blows my mind that there are people out here walking around thinking that they are above everyone else because of some type of title or some type of education or just whatever. Just the audacity of thinking that you could just go around speaking and treating people like they are less than a human, to me still blows my mind. And it's something that we see regularly.
So
I know, but
man,
well,
this is how I live my life.
Yeah, I know, but that's part of that's part of the reason of we talked about briefly over the weekend was I'm not willing to play that game with people, and that's part of the reason why I had to step away amongst other things. But that was the main thing that I remember. Of all the great things in the military, one thing I remember not wanting to do was playing that game with people.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because in my field I see it now, and I had to really remind myself on either Thursday or Wednesday, maybe both of those days, that I and the people around me are human beings, and I'm never gonna let anyone treat or speak to them in a manner that makes them feel less than.
I'm still struggling with that because you and I had a talk about that where I felt the same way. And I felt like it's kind of like everybody's a safety officer. Everybody can say, hey, that's not right. But then I did it and I directly felt like it has equal to what I'm experiencing now. So it's like I'm at that crossroads where it's like, would I have done it this way? Would I have been that self-righteous? And I don't mean self-righteous in like a really nasty way. Just not being, like he said, willing to play the game.
Yeah.
If this is wrong, I don't care where your position is, who you are. If it's wrong, it's wrong. If it's demoralizing, it's demoralizing.
Yep.
And I am going to say just that in the audience of whomever.
Yeah.
I don't know how realistic that is. I mean,
What do you mean?
because I mean, if you're in a position to where you can, say those things, then it'll actually be heard. But a lot of the times, a lot of people who are like the subjects of that dehumanization usually don't have the power in their setting to speak up for themselves or others. So I get where you're coming from, but I don't think that's like really realistic.
Well, I'm not asking everyone to take a stand. But what I am saying that for me, I know that I have to take a stand because it's a big part of, like I said, I owe a lot of things to serving in the military and things like that, but there was a big part of it where I just needed to walk away. And part of it was because I wasn't willing to play the game. I wasn't willing to be on anyone's nuts to get ahead or whatever the case may be. And a lot of people like to pretend that there is this merit system that if you do X, you'll get a desired Z, and that's not always the case. It's not true. There is a lot of political handshaking and backroom conversations that happen that will that puts people ahead of someone else regardless of merits, regardless of everything. And a lot of service members, they joke because they're like, you could be a piece of shit human, you could just really be the scum of the earth, but as long as you pass your PT test, you're going to always be you're always going to be looked at as one of the best starters, the best soldiers ever. High
speed low drag.
Yeah.
That I feel like it took me until 30 years old to learn that lesson, and I feel like that's why I've been struggling so much, because that kind of lesson digs to the core of who you are as a person. So no matter how much you've evolved or grown, when you learn that lesson, or even when you learn where you stand in the world, or how you're perceived, or how much right you have, or what, if your words mean anything. It's humbling, to say the least, because like he said, you just assume 1 + 1 = 2. And then you realize in the world, like,
your one is like I said, a lot of those backdoor conversations and a lot of those things. And I had to have that I had a flashback due to this conversation at work between again, someone who is in a position to do who feels that because he's in the position that he's in, he could say and do and treat people the way that he thinks is okay to treat people, and this is not how it works. It's not how it should work. Not that everything is fair, but
mostly that's how, for the most part, that's how it works. People
are humans, and it's not meant for anybody to take advantage and just say what you want to demoralize someone or a group of people just because of just because your title and rank. It just doesn't fly with that. And the what really spiked for me was I've reached a position now to where I'm in a lot of those backdoor conversations. So when I hear someone like him or like anyone in his position say, did you have permission? Did you, or does someone know that, or are you allowed to do something? It makes me cringe, because I'm not going to ask you permission to do anything. I'm going to do what I feel is best, because a lot of times, most of my choices are with, not just the best of intentions, but have had, I have the record to prove that most of my decisions affect people positively. So for anybody from any position of power, tell me, did I have permission to do something, especially when it comes to people, a person concern or personal concern, not just but because this was a group of people I'm talking about, but this particular group of people are having issues to where they feel like they're not being supported, not being cared for, they're not being looked at, and that their concerns or their well-being is not being taken seriously. So, me in my position, and my job is to hear their concerns and come up with actual solutions, that will make everyone, any
cookie
part of the
cutter
problem.
solutions, because I feel like a lot of the times, just people in general feel as if there's definitely two sets of rules. Like, let's not make two sets of rules.
I'm not saying that there's not, but that doesn't take away from actually making a stand.
Having that standard, just the standard, and saying everybody do this, I think is very comforting in a lot of situations like that. When you realize that you're just going to be stripped away and be exactly who you are, it is it's comforting to me. It's comforting to realize that there is a standard, but not like the constant moving of a goalpost or something like that.
Yeah. That's I don't know. This happened kind of, well, like I said, this happened I think Thursday, but for me it just took me back to a time to where I just never wanted to feel again, and I felt that way, and I know I'm not part of that immediate issue, so that issue is never going to affect me. But the fact that I felt that way and I'm not in that solution means that they probably felt just as worse.
Worse.
Yeah. So for me, it's just people and the audacity that they think they can just get away with just treating people the way that they want to, or that they think that their needs are above all else. That whole philosophy needs to change. And again, I could just be speaking into an echo chamber, but for me, it's just.
You're in a position that you can be a tad bit righteous.
Yeah, but for me, it's not even being right. If you want a job done correctly, the people that are doing the job, you need to make sure that they're taken care of.
Nobody thinks about that.
That is facts.
Nobody thinks about that.
Nobody does a job worse than somebody who doesn't want to do it. Like, there are, like, if you take two teams, right, and you have one boss who's like kind of rules through fear, he's always threatening jobs, that type of guy, and then your other one is a boss who's on the field with the team, he relates to his his associates and shit. Obviously,
like a servant leader. He's different. He's different with each and every person. He treats people based on how they need to be treated. He places the team's needs above his own.
That team is going to clearly outperform the other.
Absolutely. All the time. Every time. 10 out of 10.
I think you can. Well, you're assuming that one person's doing right and one person's doing wrong. But in both of those leadership styles, you can find high levels of toxicity to where it erodes the team. Just because that manager is in there doing the work with you guys doesn't necessarily mean that he's leading the team well. And a lot of times when you look at very particular instances of, well, is that manager leading or is the team leading because you have some outstanding team folks on it, and a lot of times you'll find that it's really the team that keeps it together and not necessarily the manager. And for me, I always look at qualities of the manager, and like I said, how you treat people, that you're giving people the individual needs that they feel like they're really actually part of the team, because not everyone's going to have the same.
And your solution as well, right? So you can't bat 10 out of 100. Right, if you're dealing with a situation, and when you deal with situations that are less than ideal, it's going to be a track record, just like you were just going back to. Like, hey, my track record is predominantly positive. And so if I have a negative thrown in there somewhere, but if every time you are resolving a situation, it's negative as hell, it is at the detriment of that person in the team. If then no, you're ineffective.
Yeah, but that was my week. Thank you for asking, Vic.
I got you, bro.
No. Well, you got any bait news for us, man? What's been happening out there this last week? You got any bait news?
I haven't seen anything.
I haven't seen anything either. I did want to talk about a few things. So I fell down a YouTube rabbit hole, and I believe it, and you can't change my mind. So I fell down a YouTube rabbit hole about Lori Harvey and the fact that she's an industry queen. Yo, it was
wait.
Okay.
So you were talking about it a little bit to me, and not that I wasn't interested, but I just I just find it hard to believe. But when you were actually making those points, I was trying to find the pictures that I thought I saw.
Okay.
And they just didn't exist.
So I fell down this YouTube rabbit hole, and the rabbit hole is the fact that Lori Harvey is an industry plant. And the fact that none of her dating history is even real. She's literally like a societal experiment or like a construct, right?
So I don't want to call it industry plant, right? Because that assumes that she's being controlled by some higher power to make other people look good.
Okay.
I do think that she is more on the lines of an image consultant.
She's
where she puts herself in positions to where she attaches herself to certain people to either change their outlook.
Help them to change the way people look at them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
she's Hitch.
Yes.
She is an application of Hitch. Yes.
So then the person before because I went through like 17 videos because I was like, no.
This is a conspiracy. I just want to say right out, we don't know any of this to be fact, but this is definitely our conspiracy theory, and I'm sticking with it. I paused the video. I kind of consumed this media exactly how I consume all media. I paused the video and I said, you know what, bitch, challenge. Bet. So I go online and I go to each of Lori Harvey's real public relationships, such as Future and Trey Songz and the one she's in now with Michael B. Jordan and P. Diddy and his son Justin Combs. I go through everything. She's never photographed kissing one of them on the mouth. Go ahead.
Did you say she went out with P. Diddy and
his son?
Yeah.
Together.
That's a disrespect.
In unison. And then took P. Diddy out on a vacation with her family. Shit was weird, right? And so Victor's looking this up right now because we was going through stuff. Me and her mom were really going through stuff in the room.
Yeah. I don't think she's a plan because that in terms that implies that she's being controlled. I don't think she's being controlled.
I think we literally have misplaced Lori Harvey's purpose in the culture this entire time. She is literally the Olivia Pope of the culture.
She's the fix-it.
So if you look at it, Michael B. Jordan has Denzel potential, right? For example, and he's one, black women think he's fine. I said, exactly.
I cannot find anything.
Exactly. Black women think he's really handsome, but that market won't support him the way they support Denzel because he's never been attached to a black woman. And he has never opened up his dating life ever. Yeah. So the little bit that they have seen has been really messy club pictures that can be open for interpretation.
You guys look lost. What she's referring to is that black women as a whole love Michael B. Jordan, but anytime you start to, anytime you look at Michael B. Jordan, you think that he only dates white women. Yes. And it was a vicious online cycle.
It was really bad.
Didn't it start with that picture of him like on a boat and it was like all white women?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a PR nightmare for him because his audience is black women or just black people in general, right? Yeah. So that was an issue. And then he was one of those people that never, ever, ever was attached to anybody meaningful ever. Mm-hmm. She's attached to him, and he's putting her on his social media. So just speaking in that relationship, going a step further, when you see pictures of them as a couple, right? There's a few vacation photos that you see of them, and then there's a few behind the scenes that they're taking of themselves.
The typical, bathroom mirror photo.
We're like in a bathroom, we're heading out for din-din. She's in the same outfit, it's different rooms. So that means on that vacation they weren't even staying in the same room.
But they're never like affectionate. There's no kissing pictures. They're either looking at each other and smiling.
They're gazing at each other. Yeah.
I mean, what if they're just more private with those aspects?
No, because she was photographed kissing her one only real love interest, which is this ball player, but from like a long time ago. I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie. Like me, I'm not the type to care about PDA.
I'm not the type
not that I don't care about PDA, but if public shows of affection. But for me, I feel like it's not real until I see some public shows of affection.
Something, and they're like, oh
yeah,
no.
That's me personally.
No. It's not. I'm not talking about like them capturing themselves. What I'm talking about is that it's impossible if you're out publicly to not be caught in a public display of affection because you don't know when you're being watched. That's how we catch every celebrity, period, amen, when they're in relationships, is you catch them when they don't feel like they're being watched and how they interact with each other. These two always look like they're being watched, and they're always gazing very lovingly into each other's eyes.
It just seems too put together. Yeah, and I didn't believe it because I was pushing back on her. But then I was like, nah, I just saw a picture of them. You know, they were just kissing online, and I went to his Twitter, I went to her Twitter, and I went to his Instagram.
I googled it. I didn't see.
Yeah, I went to his Instagram, I went to hers,
You can go
and
through it.
it's just not there. You know, I'm like, I could have sworn.
I don't know. I
Same
feel
thing
like
with Future.
I feel like there could be something there to what you're saying, but I also feel like we're so desensitized to the invasion of privacy of celebrities that maybe they just happen to achieve that privacy.
No.
Nah, fuck that. No, she's definitely the Olivia Pope, and it that was one of the major things, and so I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So this is all a job to her, and then I was like, but wait, how rich is this bitch? Because at this point, I feel like she's not being hired by an artist or an actor. No, she's being hired by their team. Mm-hmm. That means that this is a huge contract.
She's being funded.
Exactly. And then what makes it so weird, you need somebody like I would compare her like phenotypically to like Sweetie. You need somebody that's stunning to trick your ass. Because how long did I spend talking about how gorgeous she is?
No,
and how damn fine she is. She bad as a bitch. She confuses you because her ass is pretty. And so you're never going to really ask the question. Because you're going to believe her at face. Because she's so damn pretty. Look at her. Look, them baby hairs to perfection, right? Girl, you so fine. So it's like
She is stunning.
Okay, so we just decided Lori Harvey, she's an image consultant.
Okay.
Or something along the line. She's the Olivia Pope of the dating world for celebrities.
Exactly.
Because
What
you know.
did Olivia Pope do?
So for those of you who never watched Scandal, Olivia Pope used to fix problems for the president.
President, just people, political lawyers. People with
the president was probably her biggest client because she went and got him elected through a whole bunch of secret backdoors and lies and shit. And it's just a lot of crazy. Like, she just fixes problems no matter what it is.
She fixes your problems, and so she offers services of fixing it depending on where you need it. You might need it privately, or you might need it in the public.
Yeah.
And she does both.
She's a lawyer.
Now, Michael B. Jordan has elevated. She has also elevated, so she's getting something out of this equation. The only bad thing she gets is the fact that it's a little messy and people think that she be fucking everybody. But like, she's so pretty, you forgive her.
I was about to say, she probably get away with that.
Yeah, she's so. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I was like, oh, well played, you old bitch, well played. So,
yeah, man, find your spot, get in where you fit in.
How old is she?
I think she's like 24.
Oh.
She's 24. She just
I would have said,
24.
yeah, I would have thought 26, 27. I think she's a little bit
just
older.
turned 24.
She's closer to our age than she is their age.
No, Lori Harvey.
Oh, she's 24. Yeah.
That's 20. Okay.
Boom.
So she's closer to your age.
Do my research. That's me.
But more power to her because, you know, I mean, I figure she must have learned the game too. I mean, because her dad, you know, positions himself, not her dad, her stepdad positions herself very well when it comes to dating and relationship advice and things like that. Steve Harvey.
Here laying that dick like Tic Tac
Steve Harvey.
so far.
Yeah, her stepdad.
That's her stepdaddy.
Oh.
Yeah.
She got a real nigga.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but I mean, he puts himself in a position where he is like the unofficial white folk or relationship guru about black people.
Yeah.
Because his audience is predominantly white on his TV shows. Yeah. But he's talking about black people and their relationships.
You know, that would be so curious about black people.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God,
It's just like no one follows his advice.
Yeah, so
he had us in the first half of that one movie, that one Kevin Hart movie.
it wasn't a Kevin Hart movie; it was definitely his movie.
Kevin Hart was actually in that movie. Cut it out.
So was Wendy Williams, and so was Terrence.
No, Kevin Hart had a predominant role. No, yeah, he had a predominant role in that movie.
The main character was definitely
It was Michael Eli. No,
Think Like a Man.
Yeah, Think Like a Man 1 and 2. Well, Kevin Hart's in that movie, and that's why I remember. But Michael Ealy's in that movie, and a couple other people that I like. It's a good movie, but he had us in that first half when it's talk about the whole 90-day wait until some action happened. And
I think Lori Harvey is his physical manifestation of that book, and I like where he's going with it.
That's 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird. And then the second thing that I wanted to talk about is how y'all feel about Tekashi and Meek Mill.
Shut up, my nigga! Skull gang over. Man.
No, all
that shit was hilarious. I was dying.
They both look
But
goofy.
did you see the picture that he posted?
They both look goofy.
No, I didn't see the pictures, but
They
I
both
saw the
look
video
goofy.
of him screaming the lyrics, bro, while being security was holding him back, and that shit was so
They
funny.
really wasn't holding him back. They had his one big ass dude had his arm like this the entire
Yeah,
time.
that nigga, that's like 4 people. Shit.
Whatever.
Bro, that shit was, bro, 6
And he wasn't even saying that. It was like, fuck you, suck
He was
my dick,
screaming
suck my
lyrics,
dick,
bro.
fuck you,
He was screaming
you, suck my dick.
He was screaming out Lil Durk lyrics.
Oh, I don't know.
That shit is funny.
So
Man.
what actually happened?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely
6ix9ine
nothing.
was just being him,
Meek
bro.
Mill's walking through a parking lot and 6ix9ine running with a camera in his face talking a bunch of shit. And like it wasn't even like anything threatening. It was like fuck you, fuck you.
It was literally just
It was like fuck you,
6ix9ine
fuck
shit.
you.
I love it, bro.
Like I was
love
just
it.
yeah.
I love when people take all that tough guy rah shit out of hip. That shit is so whack to me, bro. I love seeing people just being goofy and shit. That's why I like Uzi so much.
It wasn't
bro.
good. No, it was goofy because he was trying to be tough and trying to call people
He
out on his
wasn't
bluff.
though.
It was goofy. It was super goofy. It was ridiculously
6ix9ine
goofy.
is not trying to be tough.
It was definitely
watch
goofy.
any of his videos. That nigga know he's a fool, bro. That shit is funny.
Shamar, what you think about 6?
Think about Goat 9.
Um,
Think about my dog. Still it all. Think about my dog.
Okay. When he was blown up initially, I don't really think I thought much of him. I was like, okay, it's cool. And then as of recently, like within the past year, I was just like, well,
he's a clown.
I don't know.
He's a clown.
He's just not on my radar.
Oh my God, he's a clown.
Yeah. And then lastly, Kodak Black allegedly definitely still a clone. He a clone just like Gucci Mane. Every
He's
time
not no
he's
damn
rap-
clone.
every
Kodak Black.
time
That's
these
a nigga
rappers,
suffering from some depression, bro. That
every
nigga got
time
molested. He was starved,
these
beat,
rappers-
molested in prison. Hell yeah, you gonna come out
Every
different.
time these
The hell?
rappers come out of prison, they
Nah.
are definitely a motherfucking clone.
Nah, he got molested, starved, beat. Hell yeah, you gonna be different, bro.
I said what I said.
Nah.
Kodak, you're a clone.
He got slim because he didn't have that food on demand. You know,
Bro,
He
he
had to
did,
come back.
they was starving his ass. He came up with a then he made an Instagram. He's like, bro, I need help. They starved me here. Everybody was like, oh, you funny nigga. Everybody laughing. Then he come out, shed 100 pounds. They're like, what happened? Like, what you mean? What happened? I told you what was happening, nigga. I was dying in there.
So you don't think nothing of it?
I haven't seen Kodak Black. I never know he got out of jail.
He's a clown,
So-
guys.
Apparently,
Allegedly.
Trump pardoned him like a while ago, like
Yeah.
last day or
Uh,
something.
He definitely did.
You know,
Last
Trump-
hour.
Definitely.
So
Trump-
he got it. Okay.
Definitely.
I mean, I haven't. You know,
Trump definitely did that.
I don't really. I don't follow a lot of rappers on social media. I follow movie stars, adult entertainers, and I cut back on that hell a lot. But usually right now it's usually podcasters and Twitch, which I just want to get rid of everyone that's on Twitch because Twitch is not meant for black people. I don't care what anyone says. Twitch is not meant for black people, and yet we still keep promoting that platform like it's like they want us there, and they don't.
Like the audience.
Every other day, every other day, there's
Gamers
some
are
gamers are racist.
So fucking
Gamers are
racist.
racist, and Twitch shows out their ass every day.
It's another streamer
Yep.
saying the hard R and then getting a sponsorship the next day.
Yeah.
like literally.
No, for real.
It's BS.
No, for real. And
Twitch
you
is
know,
awful.
so it's fun because I used to follow anyone and everyone. I got rid of all the rappers. I got rid of about 80. I would say about 90% of all the adult entertainers I used to follow. I don't follow anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I got rid of all that. Huh?
You a fake fan, huh?
No, it's not that.
I still follow
Nah.
Jada Fire from 8th grade.
Nah, I don't follow her. I follow.
Oh, he still definitely follow a whole bunch of those.
No, I don't. I'll put money on it. Instagram's a different story. That I do, but they can't show none on Instagram. Twitter's the Wild Wild West. Twitter's the Wild Wild West. So I cut back.
Somebody booty hole on Instagram. Y'all gonna stop. Y'all gonna stop.
Nah,
Y'all gonna stop.
nah.
It's your explore page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Booty hole.
Twitch is not for black
All
people,
the
and yet
wrinkles in it.
every black gamer that I follow is on Twitch, and they are trying to make a living, and they can't because they are too busy crying about all the racist white people in their comments. And it makes so bad gamers are just random trolls.
I mean-
so they might not even be serious, but it just doesn't stop.
What's the alternative?
That's the problem.
There is no alternative.
That's part of the
right
problem.
now.
People are trying to make their life.
I think right now they're
Capitalism.
just trying to get in where they fit in, make a name for themselves on Twitch.
It's part of the problem, man.
Somewhere.
You know, but that goes back to the whole having your own, you know, like the importance of having your own website, your own control and everything else. Like even if your own website don't generate the income or the views that you want, you know, it's your platform. You can control it how you want, and you can move those people out. The problem is accessibility and convenience right now, especially for the consumer. We want things that are easy and convenient. So Twitch has that gateway to where you can find hundreds and thousands of people that look like you, sound like you, and play like you, and you can just go ahead and follow them. But the problem is that there's that convenience and that accessibility, invites the trolls, and
abused.
it just and it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I can't relate.
Yeah.
I can't relate.
Yeah, but there are other platforms, man. There's Caffeine. Caffeine's out there. They do a little bit of everything, including like underground rap battles, not underground, but battle rap. But there's a couple streamers and platformers on there. YouTube is still a place to go. I think YouTube is a little bit more controlled too. They don't have.
YouTube is far more controlled.
If
you step wrong on YouTube, you get demonetized.
Mm-hmm. You get platform.
Yeah.
It's over for you.
But Twitch is convenient, man. It's easy. You can stream from Twitch on any kind of device.
They tried to crack down on it. They got rid of one of their big popular emotes. It's called a pog champ or pog face, something like that.
Why?
Because the persons whose face was used for it turned out to be an anti-vax, all lives matter, that one of those type of guys.
Mm-hmm.
So what Twitch did is actually remove the emote, and of course, being as how racist gamers are, they're like, oh no, we want it back. No, we want it back. That
emote was a staple.
No, yeah, the emote is legendary, but I think it was because a lot of people were saying that just because the person that happened to be the face of it doesn't mean that's what the emote represents.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
I just say get rid of them.
Yeah, I don't know though.
It's funny because when I see stuff like that, something that could be something that's universal and used likely, and if it's attached to someone that's so toxic and so just eerie, it's just like.
Last thing, we didn't know he was like that till recently. After the Capitol rise, that's when he came out and went on a whole Twitter rant. And everybody was like, "Oh man, this guy sucks." So it was kind of like an out of nowhere thing. He was pretty low key about it too.
Yeah.
So apparently, 70+ million people low key.
You got a point. You got a point.
Gamers and anime fans, most racist people I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I have for 8 news.
Well, I think we went pretty deep into Lori Harvey, and that's a good segue to my next point. Yeah, because someone like Lori Harvey and what she's doing, the whole image consulting conspiracy that we came up with, I do think it's definitely true. I do think it leads us to our next point when it comes to sexuality and how we've experienced it being dealt with in our families, and what we can do to really change that for the future, for our younger generation.
Shamar and I can sum this argument up in about 60 seconds. Shamar, did we talk about sexuality in our home?
No.
Exactly. We didn't do that.
Okay.
That's it. That's all we got.
Yeah, well, no, it's not just about talking of it, but how sexuality a lot of times is always related to sex in general.
That's not necessarily true.
Well,
and somebody was doing it because my mama got 3 baby daddies. She gonna have to.
I beg to differ. I think a lot too many things that are innocent in nature are related back to sexuality. And when I think of this, I think of I think of me as a man, as a heterosexual man. When I say that another dude is handsome, I'm not saying that he's handsome because I want to sleep with him. I'm not saying that he's handsome because because of anything sexy. It's purely the admiration of just the human condition. It's nothing that I find him attractive. I'm not sexually turned on or anything like that. It's just strictly like, that's a good human being. That is a good looking human. Period. Whether it's man or woman, that's a good looking human. And I feel like
society, we ain't there yet.
Yeah, well, that's part of the problem, and that's why I want to talk about it, because I don't see a problem with me saying,
Because first of all, you definitely gay right now, according to society. You didn't say no homo before you said.
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying. I'm not saying pause. I'm not saying no homie. I ain't saying nothing. So
I have to be the protector.
No,
you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Well, listen.
Right
Listen. A perfect example. I think Michael B. Jordan. He is a pretty good looking man. For whatever reason, he is. No, he's a good looking man. But for a lot of people, they would hear that coming from someone like me, and they'll automatically assume that I am.
Me too.
Huh? You what?
She said, "Let me check how tall he is." I said, "I hope he like 5'3".
He definitely like 5'9". If he's 5'9", and I'm in. Okay. He's 5'9".
He's 6 foot.
Damn.
That made it worse.
No, but just the idea, like I can't imagine me, especially a few years. I can't imagine me, saying that another human, another man, is good looking, and people not looking at me crazy. And I think about, even growing up, the idea of saying that another man is attractive is instantly met with fire and brimstone and just a lot of negative perception with that.
Being gay is not even an insult, so I don't even really understand.
It's not. But that's not the conversation, right? It's just simple to the fact that where we can't even say someone looks nice or good looking or anything without someone automatically relating that to sexual orientation.
Yeah. But I also feel like there's also like that double standard. Just like the double standard with having a lot of sexual activity being cool for a male and very like vulgar for a female and not seeing good at all. 'Cause she's supposed to be like purity, whatever. But like it's the same thing where across the board, people admire the female form.
Yep.
And everyone, male and female, can obviously identify a woman that is just stunning. She's beautiful, whether it's her face, whether it's her body, whatever it is, and it is completely accepted as being okay. But the reason why I think that's okay across the board for women and men to do alike is because toxic masculinity. The men made the rules. So I mean, this sounds like something that don't got nothing to do with me because my gender didn't even make the rules. You know what I'm saying? The reason why it's
no, but your gender absolutely participates in it.
You know what I'm saying? Not really.
No, because in that same instance, as long as we keep relating, attraction to sexual orientation, we're always going to have that issue where sexual orientation is usually okay when it comes to the female form, but as soon as you include two dudes, it's automatically shunned and thrown to the corner. Which is why people insist that there's like some kind of gay agenda on TV, and they only speak to gay agenda when it's two men, never when it's women, ever. So it's just it's odd.
Actually, like
it's the patriarchy at work.
Yeah, it's literally the patriarchy. Because I remember you stating something like, like why are all of like the series now have like male gay couples and their storyline is super basic. It's like one of them may or may not be out, but the other one is definitely not out, and like the whole story is all the angst until he gets outed. And it's kind of like I beg to differ with you, and I was just like, fuck no, inclusion is inclusion, okay?
No, it's good, it's cool, but it reminds me of the same like all the 90s sitcoms have the same three storylines, right? They always had the date rape storyline. They always had the missing father storyline. They always had the one friend that was poor that no one knew that was poor, and it was everyone was struggling. And no matter what sitcom you had it, those three storylines were on there. Right. And I feel like same thing. Like yes, there's more inclusion now. We're seeing more inclusion of the LGBTQ community, but it's always the same storyline when it comes to the men.
That's true. Yeah. But it's just the start of it. Just like you ain't never seen girls on, women didn't go on TV with braids because it wasn't considered a finished look. And then here comes Cicely Tyson saying, slap your mama. Yes, it is. And I'm cute as shit. So it's like,
can we like little sidebar, but can we talk about how many things are being taken from black women specifically and being popularized?
Yes.
From the long acrylics, the lashes, the lip fillers, the weaves, the braids, everything from black women is being popularized.
And when black women did it, it was considered as ghetto.
Yep, they made a whole movie called Babs about it.
Yeah.
And it was a caricature. It wasn't something that was a rite of passage, and it was kind of seen very much as like,
we have these little white girls on TikTok wearing protective hairstyles.
Like, what are you fresh?
I'm like, what the fuck is you doing?
Mary, what are you doing?
Or these girls be having braids and be like, oh, well, my ancestors wore braids too. They were Vikings. It's like, no, bitch, that's not box braids. No. Vikings did not wear box braids.
Right,
Let's get that straight.
Vikings also didn't wear braids at all. Like,
bullshit.
the way that they present Vikings, child, it's a no. When they came to Africa and saw how we braided our hair, how we did our hair, and it was different across the continent on how people kept their hair, and it had to do with society, and it had to do with community and all this other shit. And when they did it, it was barbaric. But as soon as you get a white girl on TV running in some braids, it's like, oh my God, chic.
Or you see all these gay white men with the acrylics now and taking all the what's the name for our slang? It has like a
what is it? The AOC,
the
AAV,
yeah, you know, all,
African American vernacular, vernacular ebonics.
It's just like our culture, just like they're just vultures, just picking and taking.
Well, yeah, that's.
But
these are all conversations we can have. But the main one I want to talk about, because I feel like the conversation around sexuality, sexuality, sexual orientation, sexual identity gets mixed up a lot in our community. Or I'm not even going to speak for the community, but really like amongst our family. Well, no, I want to say amongst our family, right? Because that's the whole point of Blood Don't Matter podcast, to speak about our trials and tribulations through our families and shit. So,
yuck. I mean, sort of. It's a catalyst, because I have some very like I don't even want to say unpopular, but I have thoughts, and some of it derived directly from my experience with my family, and some of it does not. And I would hate for my family to see this and be like, oh my God, everything that she's ever said and all of her points of views. I'm a 30-year-old woman that has been in the military for 10 of those years. Like, I've been places, I've seen people, I've done things, good, bad, and indifferent. So, I mean, and been a part of other people's families and dynamics, so much so that it's a little blended right now. It's a little bit blended.
Blended in your opinion, or? Blended
in my opinion.
Okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with having a blended opinion or a mixed opinion about, or even a different opinion. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just that goes back to our conversation about sex, how sex isn't communicated enough or communicated properly or at all. Sexuality, doesn't, sexuality to me, like even now, me saying sexuality, I'm thinking of man and woman, or identity or gender, and really, that's not the point.
So vanilla.
Yeah, and that's so not even it. It's just the idea that we shun, we have been shunned as kids to believe that we are not allowed to compliment people of the same gender, or any gender for that matter.
Men.
Correct, men.
Because it is a little different for females, and then that's also another thing where I can see passion in you regarding this topic, and then there's some lackluster opinions from me because I don't feel as passionate about it because it really hasn't affected me. You see how I get all riled up about phenotypically black women, blah blah, and that whole topic, and I see that same passion in you because this is something that, as a male in the black urban community, it's a fucking minefield. I can say whatever I want. I can say my friend got a big butt and a nice butt, and I like her butt, and I can touch her butt, and nobody says anything about it. I am able to live in a very free space.
I don't think most of men, or if even for me, I won't go that far to say, hey Vic, you got a nice butt, I want to touch your butt, or whatever the case may be.
No, but what I'm saying, that's how freely I live, where you can't even say, Vic, your hat looks really nice and it makes your fit, I feel nice.
Well, again, that's still a blended conversation about sexual orientation versus sexuality, where me, I just want to talk about the innocence of it, because one, it's not even about the innocence of it. There's one particular conversation that I remember that from our family and an interaction I had with your family that I want to speak about, but sensitive in nature. I'm going to speak about it anyway because that's just what I'm here for. But I'll speak it from our aspect, dealing with our family, to where I remember that I remember when I think you had gotten in trouble, or you just didn't do something that you were supposed to do, and it just turned into a whole rampage. Yeah, and it turned into a whole rampage of how you're not gonna be shit, you're not gonna be nowhere, you're gonna be, you're gonna end up in jail, getting fucked in the ass, blah blah blah. And
that was always a threat, and I was like, why the fuck is that your go-to?
No, okay, you know what it is? What threw me off is that now that he's saying that, I realized that literally the same thing happened to both of y'all, and I'm like, I thought it was so bizarre when it happened to Shamar, because I'm like, yo, why is that even a threat?
But for him, it was like he probably didn't clean the pool at 10 o'clock or something.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, do? You know what I'm saying? Gay for the
rest of your life in butt sex.
Yeah. Yeah. So it, you know,
I don't
just
want to, I guess.
but like how that was instantly, you know, that was the be all to anything negative that's going to, like, that was the ultimate consequence, or you know, to anything that you did wrong. And it's just like, why is that such a go-to? Like,
but how is that transcending even culture? Because y'all are, you know, African American.
Yeah.
And we are definitely like
Jamaican.
immigrant Americans.
Because we're all black in America. That's
no,
why.
but even that,
everything?
like that whole dialect of you know, you didn't do X and therefore all this, and then therefore like why is that such a thing? But that didn't just happen with you. I remember that being said to our sibling. You know what I'm saying? And you know, the same thing where it was, you know, pretty much, you know, sexual assault and rape that's going to happen. You're never going to be shit, whatever the case may be. It's just like, why?
So it was the same. So I remember like telling Shamar like this week or maybe last week that you and him were really irresponsible, but not in a negative way. And it was funny because you could tell the concern on his face, because one, he respects my opinion, but he also wants to know, like, why do you think I'm irresponsible? Like, that sounds terrible. And I remember saying to him, like, yo, it's not that deep. Like, you ain't about to like fall off and not be shit in life. It just means that you don't got all the answers right now, Sway, and that's okay. There's no consequence to being irresponsible. Like,
I think that's crazy that I was part of that conversation, but I'm just hearing about it.
Wow, petty. That's okay. He don't deserve no.
But I feel like that conversation isn't unique to just our family. That conversation has happened to a lot of people that I know. You know, like a lot of my friend group, to where if they messed up somehow, they got in trouble, and the first thing that comes out of their mouth is forced butt sex, not just forced butt sex, and it doesn't make any sense. You know, and then, you know, that drives me back to my point. If I was to say, you know, I had a kid, if I was to say, oh, you know, he's handsome, or he, you know, he's cute, whatever the case may be, that's automatic, like, oh, you know, you're automatically gay. You're not going to be shit in life. Blah blah blah. And it's just like, why are we still having that conversation in 2021?
Do kids even think like that?
They don't. They don't.
And young, or even a kid at all, just compliment the same gender at all. Like,
because it's drilled.
They do.
It's drilled into you not to do that. Where do you think you?
They don't say it in a sexual way, right? It's not meant to say, hey, I'm attracted to someone, I want to have sex. Whereas us as adults, we automatically think if you're attracted to someone, then obviously you want to have sex with them, and that alone is like not true. Like, for me, that's not. If I say that someone's attracted to whether man or female, it's not because I want to have sex with them. It's because I really think that there's something about them that makes them look good.
I say it all the time, and I would say 10 out of 10, I don't want to touch you because
spit's gross.
Spit fucks me up.
Well, I feel just the opposite. But you know, but with the kids all the time, like you know, it's not especially, you know, when we first got up here. It wasn't uncommon for me to hear that AJ had a girlfriend, or that there's a girl that thinks that AJ's cute, or AJ thinks that someone is really cute. You know, I mean, he said it about our neighbor next door.
Yeah, he does.
You know, so you know, but it's not. But
he like banished me from being his Valentine ever again because he wanted to be booked and busy.
Yeah, because he wanted to be someone else's Valentine's, so he couldn't be his mom's Valentine.
I taught him well.
Whatever, but you know, but. Someone like AJ, he doesn't know what sex is, or whatever the case may be. So why do we automatically associate, you know, us saying, you know, even with children, someone saying that someone is cute automatically means sex, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be like that. And
because sex has infiltrated every aspect of our society.
Well, it goes back to our conversation of how we don't talk about sex so much now that everything's taboo.
They made sex deviant as fuck.
Yeah.
Because you know what that breeds? That breeds abuse.
It's funny that you say that, because while it is viewed as like, you know, like a bad or negative thing, but at the same time, you can't look anywhere without it being there.
Yep.
So it's like it's kind of weird when you think about it. Like, it's plastered everywhere. Yeah. You know, the motto is sex sells, and that's true. But then at the same time, it's like frowned upon. Yeah,
or not everything has to deal with sex. Like, there are some things that just don't have anything, that have nothing, no inclination towards sex.
Not even a little.
Yeah.
And then even now, so like, let's have like a real conversation, because you have said something twice now, And I would be completely lying if I said that it didn't like, I don't know the word to use to describe it, but it perked up my ears, or it sounded foreign when you're just like, oh, if a guy is handsome or if he looks cute, like, that's okay to say. And I'm just kind of like, I know what I think as a 30-year-old woman is that is absolutely okay, and that people should say that, but I'd be lying if I said that sounds weird as shit, and I'd prefer you not say it. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's not it's like a fight inside of myself, because it's kind of like, no, I want you to say this person is attractive for whatever reason, if it's their clothing and the style in which they have, or if it's just their features, that it's okay to say just that.
Yeah.
But it sounds, because of just the, indoctrination into the whole patriarchy, it sounds weird to me.
Yeah.
It sounds like something that I would prefer not hear.
Yeah.
Like, I hear it harder.
Well, I think that 4-letter word cute is weird in general, so maybe that was the wrong way to use. But for me, like I think as men we compliment each other's outfits, right? Like, dude, that looks good on you, or dude, that's a nice shirt. That's whatever the case. Well, it's usually the shirt, the hat, and the belt, right? I don't think I ever heard, yo, dude, your jeans. You know what I'm saying? But it's usually it's usually like an accessory related or whatever the case may be. So that is fine. But I don't know. Like, for me, I think it really has to do with the medical field, right? Because I hear the word defect all the time, and that has a lot of different meanings in the medical field. But for the most part, when I see someone that is just, like I said, just a good-looking human. Not that I want to tell them, but to my mind, I say to my mind, but if I wanted to say something, like we're having a conversation, or if I'm having a conversation with someone and they bring up that person,
That's not appropriate to say it in the conversation.
No, not like that. But like how me and you talk, and we'll bring up Lori Harvey, and we can both agree that they look good.
Okay, yeah.
If that conversation was like, if I am not having that conversation with you, if I was having that conversation with not just you guys, I think you guys understand me, but like if I was having that conversation with just someone else, and we're talking about how someone that looks good, or whatever the case may be, I think that they would look at me funny if I was to say, hey, you know what, Michael B. Jordan is a good looking person.
Oh, they
you know
would
what I'm saying?
definitely look at you funny.
And and it's just like, and again, it just won't come up randomly in conversation. But it's just weird where I automatically know I can't have an honest conversation about a particular celebrity because someone might look at me funny, whatever the case may be.
Or even somebody in real life.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that.
I just think it's gonna be literally like hell freezing over before something like that changes, because even somebody like me that's so open about it, and
Nah. My age group is already like pretty much on that. Like when you were talking about, like, you can't, like, when guys compliment each other, it's usually the hat, the belt. For me, my niggas, or just people in my age group, that always I recently changed my profile picture on Instagram, and whenever any of us post something fire, we make sure we let them niggas know. So the first thing they did when I changed it, they screenshot it and said, "Yo, nigga, you sexy, bro. You cute." I was like, "Stop passing me up, bro." I was like, "You good?" I'm like, "I know, bro."
No, but I think they trolling you first off.
But we've been doing that for years. Like,
no. So the fact that
I think it's I think they're actually genuine, but when they say it so discreetly like that, it kind of just like rolls over. Like you don't really double think it.
What do you mean discreetly?
Well, like just saying, "Damn, you sexy," instead of just saying.
Well, because we normalized it. Like,
would you have that for me? I feel like, how do I have that conversation for someone, like my child or just children in general, right? Because we know that it's not meant to be any. It has nothing to do with sex, right? Saying that someone's attractive really doesn't have anything to do with sex. It's about their appearance or how they look, whatever the case may be. That's not always related to sex. But I also want to be able to tackle that situation when it comes to just AJ growing up. Because as soon as I remember growing up and just saying, oh, if I felt someone was cute in school, then everyone would go and tell that girl that oh, he likes you and blah blah blah, and it's just like, and it had no, and it forces it now forces you into a conversation about sex, and you're learning it from all the other, fourth and fifth graders, when really it had nothing to do with it. So how do we stop that? Because it's hard to identify, right?
It's
like
really
even
hard
talking
to,
about
like,
it as adults, it's hard to grasp around that concept. So how do we teach that so that way we can learn it better?
And this is why I'm so scared to ever become a parent, because I think you got to grapple with the reality that the most you can do is teach him what you feel is right or acceptable, and then just hope that he
hope for the best. Man.
Yeah, because like once he's out there, once you put him on the bus to school, he's out of your hands.
Yeah.
You don't know what the hell he's hearing. You don't know what he's
I have a hot take about it too. I think that a lot more people are gender fluid, and they're too scared to grasp that reality of it. Yeah. So they try to avoid that conversation altogether.
Oh, I was just about, you're in my brain, because you can tell those people that are gender fluid because they typically don't have like regular hetero.
Have you guys ever noticed that, like, how quickly, maybe it's just my fucked up brain. Have you ever peeped that when you put a whole bunch of men in like an enclosed setting for a while, they all become gay? Like whether it's sailors, Boy Scouts, prison. You just put like they're quick, and I mean they'll be there for like 6 months and be gay. Like damn, you couldn't wait. Like
well, that's the thing, right? No one just wakes up and just turns gay.
Yeah,
I think that a lot more people are gender fluid, or they're more fluid about their sexuality. Yeah, and when they feel safe and comfortable, that's when you start to see it.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like that. I don't know if this is a hot take, but I feel like that if there wasn't the pressure of like societal norms or like judgment or anything, I think a lot of people would be
just be out here fucking, man.
Very different than
living their best life,
they
man.
present themselves as.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No. I agree. It's funny. It's funny you say that because I'm about to tell some secrets right now, and the military's not gonna like it.
No,
but
military in that
First of all, it's a statistical, like the numbers show.
For
men get raped way
more in the military than it's funny because we always knew whenever there was an incident on base, is usually between two men. It was a dude getting sexually assaulted by a dude. But I just remember a lot of like the jokes that used to take place, in the barracks or in the locker room, you as people would say. They were there were a lot of gay jokes, in the military. And it never was, oh, you're gay, let me villainize you. It was always just the opposite. Yeah. It was just the opposite. Let me touch your butt. That's actual a true saying. That's the saying in the military. Nuts to butt, get close.
Nuts to butt, you need to get close.
So so I it's funny that you say that. You put them because you're right. You start to see where it's no more straight and gay. Everyone is just kind of just vibing. Yeah, everyone's just
vibing. They just be vibing, bro.
Yeah, but that. I'm telling you, more conversations need to happen around it because as soon as you take them out the environment, then some of them, oh no, I'm not fluid, I'm not gay, I don't do any of that.
I love women.
Yeah, and it's just like except for those 8 dudes.
Overseas, but I love women.
That is sick. Oh man, but I think it's a real conversation.
I think that's okay because.
But what's okay?
I think that men being fluid is okay, but I also have female friends, and I would say if I were to take a little poll between them, I would say a strong 90 bitch, almost a 10 out of 10, do not want to have relations with men who have relations with men.
Yeah.
And it's like, it feels like it's because men have masculine energy, so you feel like your man is demasculated.
Yeah, there's a big thing in the LGBTQ community about bisexual men and how a lot of them have to hide the fact that they're bisexual when they're with women, because if their girl were to find out that they were bisexual instead of straight, then they would see them as less of a man or not a suitable partner, shit like that.
Exactly.
Oof. I've heard that saying before.
I've heard that saying
before. I'm not gonna say that that doesn't happen. But just because you're bisexual doesn't necessarily mean that you are bottoming or you're topping. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like
that's not going through their brain.
Well, I think a
as
lot
they
of
hear
women. I think a lot of women when they
First
hear
of all-
bisexual, they're thinking that their men is
I
being
know.
If I'm with a girl,
is
I'm
being
like,
topped.
I'm bi, but I'm a top, so it's okay. I don't think she's just
gonna be
she's
like-
gonna be like, oh, okay, as long as you're a top, it's fine. Like,
No, she's not gonna say
as soon
that.
as she hears
And
I
I
sleep
have-
with other men, then
I
she's
have
gonna-
a friend that literally every single time she takes that gyno test, because women go to the doctor and there's a test, and it asks you sexual questions, and it says, do you have sex with men who have sex with men? And she gets so furious about having to check yes in that box that she calls me because it happened to her one time.
Did she know or not know?
She didn't know and then found out later.
I feel
Yeah.
like it's not really her business.
I mean,
Well, no, it is. I think that goes back to having sex.
definitely.
It is their business. If you're
Yes,
having
it
sex with someone, it's important that you disclose who you're having sex with outside of it.
Yeah.
It's totally
no.
important.
I'm talking about like if they're dating each other exclusively. Like if someone's bisexual and he's with a woman, I don't think he should be obligated
No.
to tell he's
No.
bisexual.
I know who you're talking
he
about, and
should. And
it's a weird situation.
It's a
'cause
weird
you-
situation.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of blended shit with it, but the idea that someone couldn't be out front with you in the beginning and give you the opportunity to make a decision
to
about
say
it.
yes or no.
Yes.
Because
Yeah,
you're
I
not-
think
you're not giving me the
that's where this
So you think
person
that
comes
every
from.
bisexual man should have to disclose that.
Absolutely.
No, I think if you're having sex, you need
If
to
you're
disclose to your
having
partner who you're
sex.
having sex with or who you
Period.
had sex with. That's
Period.
important. I don't care. I
It
don't
needs
care
to
who
be
you
an
are.
open,
It's just
because it's literally like
it's safety.
it's
like
safety.
for me, I get tested every 6 months. Every 6 months. And it's not like I'm having sex with anyone else, but I know my history, and so does Shauna. Shauna knows my history too. But the idea of it is
You have to do
is
that.
to protect, is to protect the people around me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, buddy. I
Yeah.
get tested too.
yeah, it's important. It's important because you just don't know.
It's
You don't know,
important.
and
If you're not gonna take your health.
the worst
seriously,
isn't just like
it's
catching like it isn't just catching like HIV or AIDS. It's just like to me syphilis is like one of the worst things that you can catch.
Lori
You know,
burns?
huh?
No, it's gonorrhea.
no
yeah.
gonorrhea.
Well-
That's a clap.
Well, yeah, gonorrhea burns when you pee, but syphilis, if left untreated and not caught early enough, it can be devastating. It eats
Absolutely.
holes in your brain. It deforms your skin, not just like your genitals, but all over. It's a very debilitating. And a lot of people,
Hep C.
yeah, like a lot of people are gross enough to where they're like, whatever, I'm just gonna ignore it until it's too late.
Yeah.
So like
Yep.
AIDS, HIV is serious. It can be deadly, whatever the case may be. But that's not the worst. That's not the only sexually transmitted disease.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things out there
Motherfuckers out here
that
literally
it's important
burning.
for me. Like at least with me, like anyone I'm having sex with, they're gonna know. Yeah, and that goes back to having adult conversations about sex, because you should be able to have
Way
open
more
conversations.
than I am.
You should be able to have
as
open conversations with adults about your sexual history. It's important. You have
so
to.
important.
You have to. And it's like, people could say, oh, it's a mood killer, blah, blah, blah. If you're just having sex with people just to have sex, you don't need to be having sex.
Period.
You need to have that discussion, because the shit that I'm into, it might not be what you're into. And I need to know, because that's the only way I'm going to feel good about having sex, is if I know what you're about to get into. So, and people just don't have enough of it. I'm terrified. I'm more terrified of catching syphilis than I am AIDS or HIV. I'm terrified to catch any of it. But syphilis scares me. It's my boogeyman. It scares me because I think about
Dick fall off.
I know because I think about like just history, right? You learn about all these royalty and histories.
Niggas were so
and
disgusting.
Exactly.
Oh my God, they
exactly.
had- they-
but niggas are disgusting today. Today, like people are disgusting today. So it's just like I don't want to take the chance. I don't want to take the chance. You should definitely talk to your people. Talk to people that you're having sex with. Like before you have sex, before y'all decide to pull that trigger, have a conversation about sexual orientation, sexual history, and sexual kinks, because that's important too.
Try to do that before it's really ako taco.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I don't want anyone to pull out like a giant like one of the Mr. Americans. Yeah. Don't pull out Mr. American on me talking about this is for you.
Wait,
like, nah, we didn't talk about that.
Show you how my leg used to look when I had that outbreak. And then come here, I like that butt sex. What?
no, but that kind of shit has happened. We are older. We're 30. and our friends have been through some things.
Not just our friends. I just feel like I just look at my like just like like from. It's so funny too. This is another conversation we're gonna have about having sex as a minor, but I lost my virginity early. And I just remember
Can't relate.
I lost my virginity early, so I like just from like 15 to 18, it was wild. Like I wasn't raw dogging. I was protected.
You get a raw thing.
You can probably still find condoms somewhere in the room now because I used to always have them. But I just remember just being like 15 and just acting wild, with other wild people because sex was never taught.
Get down here. Get this dick, bitch.
Damn, why you gotta make it so aggressive?
I gotta make it aggressive because I like to put my Kevin Hart voice on.
That was a sweetheart. I get what you mean.
Can't relate.
Y'all would be very disappointed in me if you knew some of the shit that I was on. Bro.
I wouldn't be. I understand because listen, I remember being. Listen, I was 18 and I was with a 27-year-old, at AIT, and I just remember. And I just remember her being attracted to me, and it was a vibe for a minute, But she was like I said, 10 years older than me almost. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
see, that's the thing though. Our mother watches these, and if I
don't care. I don't care no more.
If I put this piece of information out there, bro.
Now she already speculating. So
yeah, she
already speculating because she knows exactly what she was like. What the fuck?
Yeah, but sex needs to be talked about. All types of sex, but when it comes to sexuality, sexual orientation, we need that conversation has to evolve, and it has evolved a lot compared to 10 years ago or 5 years ago. It's already evolved a lot. I think more people are more understanding, more open to the idea that people aren't your traditional heterosexual.
I get that, but it's not that open.
We need to further that conversation, have a deeper conversation, and really, because it goes back to the whole jokes with men, right? How men will, in private together, will joke about homosexuality and will joke about being homosexuality, whatever the case may be. But as soon as you take them out of that environment, everything switches up. And I think it's because men are too afraid to tackle the issues that surround sexuality, dating, and the aggressiveness that men present. Because we can't say that, oh yes, when you say that someone's attractive or someone looks good, that it's not related to sex, when for the most part men always related to sex. And when you think of at least when I was growing up, it was you don't want to be, or you don't want to know someone that's homosexual because they are going to make their move on you, as if you're like the greatest thing since sliced bread. And it's just weird. We look at it now as it's weird, but that's how some men think, and that in it alone is just toxic as hell.
My mindset in elementary school and up to middle school, because I grew up in family kind of shit, so I was exposed to a lot of that shit. And me and all my friends up until 7th grade, our motto was, "Oh man, I don't care if you're gay as long as you don't try it on me or try it around me."
Yeah.
And think about it now, it's like, fuck, that's stupid, bro. As if gay people are some sexual predators that's always looking to
exactly, and it's not the case. It's not the case.
Really not the case. They could care less.
Mm-hmm. So just among men, that conversation around sexual orientation just has to change and evolve. And that just because you find someone as cute or good looking or attractive as a human doesn't necessarily mean you want to sleep with them. We gotta separate that. That has to start now. Has to start with men.
I can't relate. I want to sleep with Lori Harvey.
No, I think it has to start with men before it starts anywhere else, because like you said, it's a patriarchy. It's a patriarchy.
That's what I'm saying.
But you guys don't always relate it to sex. Just because you think someone's good looking doesn't mean you want to sleep with them.
But then that's what I'm saying. Where I could see the passion in y'all, or y'all can be man, all the times I've been threatened with forced butt sex, man, shit's cool. You know what I'm saying? But
that's not funny. But
it's not funny. You know what I'm saying?
That shit was traumatizing. I think 10-year-old me felt being told I'm about to go to jail because I got my color turned to red. Oh, bro.
No, and then even at his old age, at 22, me being yo, you being irresponsible don't mean life is over for you. Mm-hmm. That is just where you at right now. That just means that if I don't specifically remind you to wash the dish, please, you may or may not wash the dish. That does not equal
like jail or like butt sex. Like, it doesn't equal any of that. All that equals is the fact that there's a dirty dish over here, okay? There's no consequence to irresponsibility. Only knowledge. You learn to be responsible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's it. And it took me, and I was telling Armand, because I told Armand about like saying to Shamar that you guys were irresponsible, and that like I
So
like come
this
back. No, well, I was talking to him about it. No, but like I literally had to like walk back out here because sometimes I had to do that because I'll say shit and like walk off, right? Because I'm like notorious for saying shit and walking off, right? And I'm like, damn, he looks like bewildered and concerned, and I'm like, you shouldn't be concerned. Like, there's nothing wrong with being irresponsible. I know that, like, you know, we come out in our culture and it's like, you know what, you get up and you're a lawyer immediately, and you pay bills.
You better be a lawyer, doctor.
Yeah, you're an engineer, and then you go ahead and you drive this Lexus. And you do everything on time.
That expectation has to change too because shit is so different. I can't imagine being 20 and look. First of all, I remember me couldn't wait to be 20 because I just thought I was just gonna be like the hottest shit.
I was balling.
Just overnight.
I'm gonna get a mortgage, man. I swear to God, I'm gonna have 13 credit cards.
And that is not how life works.
And I'm just like, yo, hey guys, help! I'm poor.
Yeah.
Please.
Like, go about to start a GoFundMe.
That expectations of success on kids is, oh my God, that shit destroys them, man.
It does.
That shit crushes kids. It demotivates them. It's like, that shit is awful. Yeah. And then most of the times, because parents would be like, just want their kids to be successful so they can take care of them. It's not because they want the actual kids to be successful.
Oh my God!
It's just
Did we talk about that? Did we talk about that yet on this podcast?
I
don't think so.
Oh, that's going to be our topic.
Yeah, next time, because Armand and I are very.
The idea
strict.
that we raise kids to grow up to take care of us.
I am.
Oh my! It boils my skin.
That is wild, man.
Man, when the passion
Yeah.
I literally would be the no if AJ tries to like help me in life. It's about you.
No, it's not that he can't help.
It's not
I
that
think
he
it's
can't
that,
help.
but that shouldn't be his obligation.
It shouldn't be the obligation or the expectation, and it's not about not like him loving me any less. I just want AJ to do what AJ wants to do.
Yeah.
I don't want AJ to think of, because this is
not
literally
conditional love.
Exactly. I think of so many things that I wanted to do in life, but I literally said, you know what, I'm not going to do it because, like, I don't really want to upset my mom. And, like, just real life decisions as an adult, meaning I am going to face the consequences of doing this action or not doing this action and making it solely based off the approval of my parents. Which, what?
That shit is wild.
Yeah, I can't believe you actually had one of those. A parent with an S at the end of it.
I had two parents.
Like multiple? Two-parent household?
Yeah, that was toxic as hell.
Mom and dad? What the fuck?
Wait, a what? Wait, what was that? D word? A what?
I don't know.
No, I used to always joke with our mom because, like, I see, like, domestic violence, and we used to always watch movies, and I used to be like, yeah, my mom and daddy used to do that. And our mom was like,
what the fuck?
Your dad used to beat your mom. I was like, nah, them niggas used to fight. Like, it was fair. Like,
It was a fair fight.
Yeah, like, but there's been plenty of times my mom beat my daddy's
The fact that you had a daddy.
Yeah.
And he was always around,
She
too.
better off than she better off than most.
And you've been like, my dad ain't really that damn bad. I mean,
what's your thoughts on the whole sexuality conversation? I know as a conservative.
Oh yeah, as a conservative, man. Yeah.
As a conservative, you got very strong feelings.
My bad.
I just want to make sure I send this to our mother.
What is the specific question?
The specific, what do you think?
What do you think about sexuality? You know, well, one, I think we already established that, like, there's no relation between someone looking good and then your sexual orientation. So your sexual orientation, let's talk about it. Put you on the spot.
What do you think it is? Do you think it's real? That whole sexuality is a spectrum, and you know you can decide your own genders and stuff like that. Do you think all of that is real?
Okay. Before I answer that, pause. Why it seem like all y'all always trying to dissect my brain? Because
Shamar, you're the biggest question in the room, man. I know you gotta have an opinion on some stuff.
Listen, but
Trying to get you canceled.
before you even answer that, I want to let you know that the few times that somebody has watched this podcast and had something to say, it has been off of your riveting thoughts. And ask him, I'm not lying.
Yeah.
They've been like, Shamar said, and I'm like, Shamar's talk.
You mean the 0.6 seconds he actually spoke up?
Real stuff. and I could tell that they were literally saying something that you said because they repeated. I was like, oh yeah, that nigga.
Yeah, I mean, because let's face it, this is definitely an Aquarius. What do you guys, Aquarius? Oh, Aries. This is an Aries dominated podcast. You guys speak the most. You and Vic.
I think he's a real nigga dominated. Shauna, real nigga too. You know, just real niggas.
Okay. Well, for sure, growing up, like especially being Jamaican. I mean, any Jamaican can, or any, I guess it's like Caribbean male could just say like, you know, like don't ever be gay, don't ever be gay. And I think that's kind of how I was at first. It was like, not me being gay, but just other gay people, like how you view them. And then as I got older, it's like, I mean, it doesn't really matter to me anymore, like whether or not someone is or not.
Yeah.
But what about when it comes to like your children, for example? Like when you have to have that conversation with them about like sexuality.
Do you ever plan on having kids? Like, do you want children?
But definitely no time soon because I'm trying to be free.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Boy, so you got to bands up first. Nah, what do you? I mean, obviously you're not gonna have to answer now, but like just what do you think you would have that conversation with your kid when they come to you with questions about things like sexuality and orientation and whatnot?
I feel like I would just come to them from a standpoint like.
You want to talk about forced butt sex?
Definitely not.
Okay.
Like more so like.
How did that conversation make you feel?
You know, I feel like I would kind of talk to them like almost like I'm a friend talking to them. Like, for instance, when your parent starts talking to you about certain stuff, like for instance this, you might be kind of like, but then I feel like it'll be more like at a like you was at school talking to your friend about this, and that's how probably I'm gonna like approach it.
Yeah, there are certain things, no matter how valuable the information, that I and I'm sure everybody else can say they dismissed simply because it came from your parents. Because a lot of parents set themselves up like as like, oh, I'm not your friend, I'm your parent and shit, and it's like cool, but now I'm not gonna come to you about anything ever, or you know, ask you to help me with anything, because you kind of just set up a boundary between us, you know. So at least that's how I viewed it.
I mean, that's why I'm kind of like coming at AJ differently, where I allow him to be right. I don't take that like, do as I say all the time. I can never be wrong. I apologize to him often. I allow him to speak about that wrong as long as he needs to speak about it before he gets over it. And usually it ends up with him being like, oh, Mom, it's okay. Like, you had an accident. Like, that's fine. I know you didn't mean to hurt me. But not just saying sorry and then be like, nigga, don't never say that shit again.
Yeah,
like,
I think a lot of parents go overboard with the whole respect thing. Like,
with the authority
they
thing.
Demand respect and authority so much, and it's like, all right, chill out with a power trip, bro. Like, relax.
It's not even about respect. It's the second word, the authority.
Authority.
You know, a lot of us, especially in a black household, didn't have any power growing up.
No.
They didn't have any power until
my number
they
one
had
phrase
kids.
I heard was, "I don't care what you want." I was like, what the fuck? Are you for real?
Yes.
I heard that shit all the time. That was I don't care what you want. I was like, okay, damn.
Yeah, no, authority is it's weird, man. It's weird.
I don't have that with my son. I try not to. I do, like I have like parts where I tell him like he has to listen. It's really important that he listens. And there are times where I get real.
Oh no, I heard you talk to him. You're not a pushover.
Like,
you be getting on his ass sometimes. I be feeling bad for him.
I talk to him, but at the same time, I want him to practice being a human. So I kind of gotta allow him to be a human. So that means in every sense of the words, that means flexing his authority. That means flexing his opinions. So if he has an opinion about something and it's strong, Armand knows. We could be in the middle of something, and Armand is the type of person that he's very like mission oriented. It started, this is what we're getting ready to do, and I'll stop what I'm doing. I'll ask AJ what he wants to do or how he wants to do it. Because how I expect him to do that correctly in the real world if he ain't ever practiced at 8.
That's true.
Without consequence.
That's true. Yeah, and it's a skill that I didn't learn until I got much older. Until probably until I got into the military. The ability to actually listen before an argument or conflict breaks out. And it's an important skill to have as an adult, but it's also important to learn it when you're young, so that way, you know. Well, you think everything that we do for him, at least from my standpoint, is so that he doesn't get into a situation where he feels like he's not in control, and he lashes out and he starts hitting or fighting or whatever. Because one thing I know about myself is that like once I lose control, I lose control, you know. And then and I don't say that in terms of like, oh, I'm just some bad dude. Nah, it's more on the lines of, depending on what the situation that I'm in, I'm gonna try to outplay that situation, and it's dangerous. That's a dangerous way to do it. And I think the most important thing I've learned was to being able to identify a conflict or pre-conflict and being able to de-escalate it, and that's one thing I want to instill into AJs, to be able to de-escalate situations. Don't let it get to a point to where you just feel like you have to take it to that next step. There's no reason to always be at 110, and that's in me. Like, I'm an extreme intense person. Like, I'm intense naturally. So for me, it's like, it's not even about losing control. I'm just gonna go to that next level because I don't like the situation I'm in. And it wasn't until I was damn near an adult, having to learn that I need to be able to identify and de-escalate.
And AJ does that. Like, AJ knows when he's getting upset, and he'll tell you many times before he'll do a bad act.
He does, actually. I peeped that too. So when I was younger and I got mad at games, I'll just break shit. But when he gets mad at the game, he just puts it down. He'll be getting frustrated on the little Nintendo Switch. He'll get like real frustrated with it, and he'll be like, "Okay, that's enough," and he'll just put it away and then walk out. And I'm just like, I can't do that. I'm 20. That's really cool.
No, because I think there's two times in my life, or at least in high school that I remember, to where I could have easily de-escalated the situation, but because and for me it wasn't about pride, it wasn't about anything. It was, I feel threatened, and in order for me not to feel threatened, I have to be threatening. And I got suspended behind both of those incidents, and it's just one of them I was a ringleader apparently. Fucking goddamn Broward County. But I look back at it, I was like, had I been able to de-escalate the situation, I would have been better off. And then I just remember a coach, just because I was part of the wrestling team at the time, and behind that suspension I couldn't participate, and he still wanted me to come to practice and everything else, and I just remember, it's like, why am I going to work so hard to practice when I can't, when there's no benefit for me. And I remember him telling me that it's, one, it wasn't about what I wanted, but two, until I learn to de-escalate situations, I'm always going to have that problem. And of course, me being in the 10th or 11th grade, no, it was like the 10th grade, I didn't give a shit what he said. But I look back at it because that was the same thing that a sergeant had pulled over and said, we had this big ass brawl out in the company area, and it was bad. And of course, I got in trouble behind that too. But I just remember the sergeant. He goes, "Yo, until you learn how to de-escalate shit, like, yeah, you're a soldier, yeah, you bad, yeah, you think just because you passed your PT test. Oh, I think I got like a 270 on my PT test or something like that. There's just a lot of shit that I was doing. I was PG, and I just did I had a lot of shit that was going good for me. And he was like, all that shit don't mean nothing if you can't identify conflicts and get out of it. It doesn't mean a goddamn thing." And I just remember him just those words. It sounded exactly like that coach back from the 10th grade, and how I still didn't learn a goddamn thing, and and how I needed to learn. And that was to me, like, that was such an important lesson.
I think I de-escalate. I think it's something that I try, because I don't want AJ to be like us. I don't want to be like y'all.
Why would he not want to be like me?
Well,
I hope he's like a spitting image. Just like me.
Yo, you were sick.
He already said he wants a beard and a mustache.
Oh my god.
He asked me every day. He's like, "Victor, how you grow your mustache?" I said, "Bro, just keep trying. I promise you it's gonna come." So
I'm like, "Victor, how you grow that shape on your chest?"
I know you're not tired.
This nigga got like a wolf pussy on his face. It's like, it's inconsistent as shit. Shit is dry.
They be hating on it, man.
Looking,
You just know that it was Shamar and Shauna hating on it, because I'm jealous that your beard is 10 times better than mine.
Yeah, they're gonna hate what they can't have, bro. They're gonna hate what they can't have, man.
I guess.
Wow. No, I don't want AJ to be like any of us.
No, for real, I want it to be better. Yeah, I want it to be better.
I mean, that's always the goal of a parent, right?
No, it's actually not. I know what you're saying. That's not the kind of
That's not the goal.
That's not the kind
No,
of
see, that's what you would think the goal
That's what
is.
you think the goal is.
That's not what happens.
I guess I'm tripping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's never been the goal, nigga. You crazy.
No. Yeah, no. There's a lot of different things.
Fuck sexuality, butt sex hurts. And,
Don't threaten your kids with butt sex. That's not cool, man. That doesn't do anything
First off,
for your
I
kids.
feel like we're giving butt sex a bad name.
Okay, forced butt sex. Sorry, forced butt sex.
Okay, because there are plenty of people that are into butt sex.
Yeah.
And there ain't nothing wrong with that.
wow.
Your
Right.
kid's not
And-
Just
in
remember
preparation-
that your butt is usually an exit, so you need to fleet and you need to wipe well and you need to
You
always
don't
clean your butt.
need to fleet because fleet will induce diarrhea. You actually haven't been researching like I have
Okay,
because you
well.
know what? If you
You said
fleet,
fleet?
if you
Like
fleet,
a brand?
Fleet enema. Yeah.
no, like an
Like the
enema in
brand?
your asshole.
I thought you do water.
And also, if you fleet and then try to have anal sex right afterwards, you're gonna.
Well, you don't do it right afterwards, but you wanna
30 minutes
make
to
sure
an
you're not
hour
backed up.
Afterwards, you're gonna have something called a chili dog. Look that up.
It's gross.
Or I won't. Stems
Look
and
it
sets?
up.
No.
Yeah.
Or
You
we
don't
still
wanna
got
do-
another topic.
No. We can move on. Stems and sets.
Okay,
I do. I got a stem. My first stem is Beyonce's pictures. Thank you, Beyonce, for gracing the timeline with that picture. I
Her
appreciate it.
booty meat.
With her booty meat. With her booty meat. Yeah, we appreciate that. And then my other
Are you
stem
guys
was.
looking at Beyonce's booty meat?
Huh?
And then the other stem was that Nipsey Hussle Jay-Z track that dropped recently. Thank you, Jay-Z. Thank you, Nipsey. I
Is that
like.
her booty meat? Shamar, are you a conservative? You don't want to see
She got a whole handful, and it's still.
It is Beyonce's
But yeah, I do want to say thank you, Jay-Z, for dropping some music and just music in general. I finally got in touch with my playlist again. I used to be a really big hip hop head, and I don't know what happened. Just these last maybe about 4 or 5 years, I lost touch of music, and there was a point in time in my life to where I always needed music on or around or anything, and that just really changed. You're right, since we bought the house and shit like that. I have not
Also,
got.
I'd like to put in a request for you not to wear as many headphones because I'll be talking to you and be responding back to you. I'll be having a lot to say.
Wear your headphones, man.
Okay. She doesn't want me to listen to music anymore. No, but music has just been a very big staple in my life, and I just had to remind myself of why I listened to music in the first place. So the last couple of days has just been amazing for me, just taking a couple of days off of work and just being able to just vibe and listen to music. And then my last stem is tax season. And I had a good start out to the season. I've done 5 so far. I got another 3 lined up. And I just can't wait to just go hard this year. Once I hit 8, I think I pretty much will make the cost back. So anything over 8 people, I'll start to see a little bit of profit from. So hopefully I can get out of some of those some debt this year before September, because that's when student loans come back in effect.
And
no sense. No. They paid a large portion of my student loans. So my degree cost $68,000, and they paid like 85% of that. So I only had about $24,000 in student loans.
That's really good, actually.
Yeah, no, it's great, but it's still a lot, and interest rates are high, and it cost me about $500 or whatever for student loans. So F that. So I guess that's my SED, student loans. That's my SED. But my stems, Beyonce, music, and Jay-Z. So there we go.
Oh, got it. Who else? I don't have anything.
Shamar, you want to know?
Oh my God, here he goes.
Well, the stocks have been good this week.
Of course.
Back
Yeah, it is.
Yo, I want to hear some of this music that you be making, man.
I could let you hear the one I made just now. I was actually
Yes,
pretty happy
He
about
makes
that.
a lot of beats based off me, which is kind of weird, but
I don't know who that is.
like what he does is he'll.
What I do is I
So I
think
tell him
about
what
it.
I like. I tell him what I like, right? I'll be like, damn, I like a lot of bass, like dark, like kind of like edgy type
I'm
beats.
like, oh really? Delete.
That nigga just make it, bro. He infused every rapper's sound with my sound, bro. That's what he do. Nah. You don't know Stems and Sets, man?
Alright, well, I guess, the thing is, well, for says, it's like, I feel like nothing really bad happens. I guess if I were to just say one that I just thought about, is I was having this conversation with, remember how last week I was telling you how like I only relate to kind of like one person at my job because everyone else is either young or old. So basically we were just talking, and he's like pretty similar to me in some ways, but
conservative.
Well, I just mean
quiet,
like far blue, like really blue, like all the way blue. But what's it called?
Similar how? Like what? Like personalities?
Just kind of like in the situation he's in, not completely, but just kind of like, you know, he's trying to be on his come up to and whatnot. So anyway, we were just going off on a little, I guess a little rant about how like we probably should get paid a lot more than what we deal with. So considering what people are coming on, like what minor cashiers are coming on making and what we make now. Because I just found out because he just told me, I was like, well,
you got to talk about that later because I got a little meeting with regional later, so I'll bring it up, dude. Man, what's your STEM? Something good that happened? Something that made you smile, like Steph Curry doing a layup.
That makes people smile.
Hell yeah, that's so inspirational.
Every time that portfolio just took up $1, it just made me feel good.
This nigga.
All right. What you got, Vic?
Well, I got a few stems. Funny that he did say that because the free stock. So on Robinhood, occasionally you'll get like free stocks for like doing different things. I got this is like third free stock I got. The first two they gave me were like buses, like useless shit. But this one that they gave me, they gave it to me at like $3. That shit at like almost $8 now. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to throw little bands in that bit. But so that's kind of cool. But my stems is just that, like I said, I got some stuff that I've been working on in the background. I'm the type of person who like the way I present myself, it looks like I don't have shit going on, but I got a lot of shit going on, and that shit is popping off right now. So I'm very blessed, very thankful for that being.
Where the fuck is my money then? Like, they're like.
But yeah, so and then my other stems.
I just want to hear some of this shit. Like, I feel like both of you guys keep shit from me, and I just want to know.
Oh,
it's just I'm growing, nigga.
You gotta wait till
you grow. What are you growing with? Don't say it now. I'm like, you know, because we don't want our 5 fans to know.
Every podcast,
yeah, why you I'm disrespecting them, man. Nah, but yeah, just things are really moving in my favor as they always do. So I'm really happy about that. My sets have actually been work. It's funny because on our last podcast I said I'm pretty happy at my job, and then I guess the universe was just like, oh really, and then just like fucked me up, bro. Because oh my god, man, it's just like it's like when he said that we should get paid more for what we have to deal with, I felt that like this shit that I had to deal with the last like week. Yeah.
Basically nothing. I have like
you would be surprised.
I have like psychotic balls, and Victor's like, I hate my job because there's a pharmacy, and I'm just like, yo, niggas trying to kill me currently, like y'all don't even have access to guns, like. Get.
Let's just say that I have way too much responsibility, and if anybody fucks up, I get fucked up. So it's very stressful. But yeah, that's my sides.
All right. Oh. You say you ain't got none, Shauna?
Nothing.
It's Valentine's Day.
Oh.
That's not STEM?
That's great. I'm really happy for. First of all, our mom's gonna fucking light me.
Your
up
STEM is not your son's birthday?
Oh yeah, that's true. It was
damn.
That was true. It was AJ's birthday, but that was yesterday though. This is today, nigga. Okay, this is today.
This for the week.
That was yesterday. The week? Hell no, he ain't getting a week, man.
My STEM is his birthday. I was so glad to see that.
You ain't shit.
Shout out to him, man.
Man, came home from work like, happy birthday, bro.
He forgot. He was looking at him in the face for 20 minutes before he said, "Oh yeah, man, happy birthday." By the way, dog. I know it's 12 o'clock at night.
He was buying him something, and I was like, "Why are you buying him something?" And I looked at him, I was like, "Oh shit, it's his birthday."
So I know it's 12 o'clock at night, but happy birthday. You ain't got nothing. I got a rant this week though. My rant is this Valentine's Day. Yeah, Valentine Day. I hate it. No, you know what it is? I reached a point in my age now to where, like, before, I always had this feeling that like holidays and birthdays really aren't about you when you're in a relationship, or just like in general. Like, I've never had a feeling of, oh, it's Christmas time, I can't wait to get gifts for myself. It was always, let me go ahead and get other people gifts because, like, you know, it's about other people and not for me. So
when everybody thinks like that, I mean, obviously it goes around.
Yeah, well, no, because I finally reached a point in my life to where, like, I think I do want gifts and shit. So like on Valentine's Day and like my birthday and shit, I do want some shit. And it's like, oh, Armand, what do you want? I really don't want anything, but I do want to think that, like, people actually think about me or whatever. Like, I like edible arrangements and shit.
That's
like,
literally the definition of it's the thought that counts. Like, a lot of people use that as a cop out to get you a shitty gift, but at the end of the day, that's what it means.
Yeah.
Like,
well, no, because I don't want a shitty gift though. Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't want shitty gifts, but I would have.
The shots are fired and they in my direction.
All right.
I do not purchase gifts. I do not I don't say happy birthday, barely.
That's crazy.
Barely. I don't do
except for my
anything.
birthday that's coming up.
There's never.
Because we Aries.
No, absolutely not. So I am just not a holiday celebrator celebrating.
That is cap, because when it's holidays, she'll get up, she'll turn on music, she'll be dancing, cleaning the whole house. So that is cap that she don't mess with holidays.
I'm glad you know. I'm glad.
New Year with a clean house.
Exactly.
Like, what?
Exactly. But only that holiday.
Okay.
I don't purchase gifts. Do I buy gifts for myself?
No, you don't.
Exactly. Do I buy gifts for anybody?
No, you don't.
Okay. I'm trying to get better at that.
I literally have to do all of that.
You know, speaking of gifts.
And I'm tired. I'm fucking tired, okay?
I am going to get better.
And I, you know, not even that I wanted something today. I just,
I ain't shit.
yeah, I don't know.
I ain't shit.
She ain't shit. I'm glad she knows that.
I do.
But I would like to just, for once, celebrate a holiday and it just be about me. I just want to be a little bit of selfish, just a little bit, because I feel like I haven't been selfish. I just want to be just a little bit selfish. So, but like I say, like, oh, I want gifts. I really don't want gifts because I'm picky when it comes to gifts.
Yes.
And like, if you're gonna get me a gift, you might as well just go ahead and go look on Amazon and see what's on my wish list, because that's the only thing that I that you can get me and I would be happy about. Because if you get me something that I don't want to use or that I can't use, I'm not going to use it, and you're going to know.
But that kind of stuff doesn't bother me though, you know.
It bothers me. Like if you're gonna waste your money on me, at least get something that I'm actually gonna use. And I know I get what you. I listen. I know how it sounds. I shouldn't feel that way. Like if I'm gonna get a gift, if someone gets you a gift, you should be happy about the thought. It's not just about the thought. It's not about a thought.
Like, I literally don't make a big deal out of absolutely everything. Like, this morning when he was just like, oh,
it don't gotta be a big deal, Shauna. It's the thought that counts.
No, it's not the thought.
It don't even be the thought.
I want something.
Trash.
No,
like,
I want something.
No, and he's right. It's like that all the time. And then you know what? It's
I want you to ask what I want. Okay, that's what I want. We'll talk about it later, Shauna. But I want stuff. Okay, and then that's the whole point. I would just like, huh?
You want butt plug?
Not for me.
You want to do butt sex?
No.
Come on, y'all, turn the video off so we can go do butt sex.
I don't want butt. I don't want butt sex.
That's the title of the episode.
Butt sex. Yeah, I was thinking, I'm gonna have a butt sex counter for how many times we said butt sex today.
Nah, that's completely fine. Go ahead. It's all funny games, so I peg you later.
All right. I ain't get pegged.
So let's get back to that conversation about speaking before these things go down. You know, make sure you're clear on what you want.
It's definitely gonna be sexual assault, man. Trigger warning.
But that's my rant. Like, I'm sick of these holidays coming around and it be so focused on other people or your partner or whatever the case may be. Like I am so for equality when it comes to relationships now. It's not even funny anymore.
Can we do something right now on this wood right here?
What?
You always say that I'm trying to get you caught up. Armand, can you please, as of today, don't ever give me another thing?
No. It's not going to happen, because when I think you need something and you don't get it for yourself, because you just said you don't buy yourself shit. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, I have to buy her all her essentials. I buy her. So
this is true. Like I know what y'all thinking. Literally,
Every-
my
when she-
underwear, my deodorant, my lotion.
I buy all
my
her
soap.
essentials, everything. So
The only thing I purchase for myself is makeup.
Yep, and then when she runs out of shit, instead of telling me, "Hey, I need more of this," I'll start to notice that like the shit that I use is in different areas, and then I'm like, "Oh shit, where's my stuff at?" And it's because she's been using it. So it's like I gotta go out and buy some more shit for her because she's using my shit, and I can't have that.
Can't relate.
So my point is, I am for equality when it comes to relationships. I ain't getting you. Not that I won't get your shit, but I expect at least a conversation of, "Hey, Armand, what would you like? Is there anything that you want?" And if I say no, I don't know, or whatever the case may be, that means I do want something actually. And I'm gonna stop saying no, I don't know, or whatever the case. No.
What the hell is that?
I know, because because before it seriously was not, I don't want anything, because I was satisfied and just people receiving gifts that they could actually use and they actually want. I used to be satisfied in that. That's no longer the case anymore.
I want my shit now.
Yeah, so it's not even that I want shit. Well, I do want shit, but the shit that I want is not materialized. So I would like to have more in-depth conversations about that. We could probably have that off air. But yeah.
He wants butt sex, yo.
I think he's butt sex too. I'm gonna pull all my points on butt sex.
Shamar says third. He's third. Butt sex.
No.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well.
All right, guys, we gotta go. Come on, babe.
All right, butt sex.
Salute.
Bye, guys.
We went to the store and forgot to get that too.
We got paper plates and lube.